You know, much like the main character in the Pixar movie Elio, I used to feel a little lost and like I didn't quite belong, at least when it came to my sleep.
But you are not alone.
Elio travels all the way to the Communiverse to find his place.
We think you're an excellent candidate for Communiverse membership.
But I just needed to find the perfect spot right here on Earth.
Earth is home.
I used to toss and turn all night, and my old mattress left my lower back in pain.
And I've got the battle scars to prove it.
That's why Helix Sleep is sponsoring today's video, so you too can find the right spot that provides you with all the support you need.
It's actually kind of comfy in here.
You take the Helix Sleep quiz, which takes your body type and sleep preferences and matches you to the perfect mattress. You can rest easy knowing your mattress was truly made for you. And finding that perfect match means you're getting proven better sleep. In fact, 82% of participants saw an increase in their deep sleep cycle in Helix's Wesper Sleep study. Helix offers free shipping and seamless delivery right to your door. It came rolled up in a box and was super easy to set up.
Well done. I knew you had it in you.
Plus, they back it up with a 120-night sleep trial and a lifetime warranty. If you're ready to stop feeling lost in your old bed and find the perfect mattress for your sleep destiny, go take the Helix Sleep quiz right now. Visit helixsleep.com/CinemaSins to take advantage of their Cyber Monday sale extended and get 20% off site-wide. "56 seconds of logos." Also, as this logoing gets longer and longer, I foresee a not-too-distant future where we're subjected to the entirety of this star's meandering journey from Hermosa, Chicago.
You remember what your mom used to order for you?
If Disney hasn't set up a support group for the orphans of all parents it's killed in the name of half-assing character development, it f***ing should.
What about the astronaut program? Aren't you about...
No, not anymore.
Pixar's Elio and Stitch.
Since the dawn of time, humans have gazed at the stars and wondered.
If this is the voice of someone who could literally wipe out an entire race just to get herself and her crew home a little faster? Because I was wondering the exact same thing. Assuming that aliens read English or read it all. This voluntary self-application of sunscreen might be the most unbelievable thing Pixar has put to screen, and I'm including the talking fish, toys, and flying house. Unhealthy obsession presents as red string conspiracy board cliche. Reading. There's no way a costume change happened that quickly unless we find out his secret identity is Cal Elio. Also, while this sign is a great place to hide your bike, helmet, and cape from the movie-going audience, it's going to be pretty obvious to anyone with eyes on the other side of the sign. Someone needs to help Elio out here, not because his search for aliens is silly, but because there is no reason to cross off these areas of the beach. If you take into account Earth's rotation and velocity through the galaxy, each part of the beach would be visible from space at different points in the day, week, month, and this very serious account of a 10-year-old becoming ambassador for Earth should know that. This remarkably undisturbed sand, considering the dozens of people being montaged across it.
Hey,
Abducteases.
you put flyers up for a ham radio club?
Did the flyers specify to meet up in the middle of the night? Because that is sus as f***. Bryce is lucky Elio wasn't a 35-year-old man with a white van and candy.
It's my dad's ham radio, but I have my own call sign. It's PXLOL, which sometimes makes people I talk to laugh.
Citation needed.
How far have you called?
On Friday, I talked to Ohio.
Ohio. Acknowledging the need to have the name of the office's occupant written in Braille, but not the room number itself. The cover of this book is fascinating. Is it suggesting that the definition of a spirited child is one who likes to jump through fires? And are those the f***ing heads of stuffed animals that have been ripped off, or actual bunnies? The book says spirited, not Jeffrey Dahmented.
I need you to sit here and not move or speak or injure yourself for 10 minutes.
Or touch the computer that I have decided to leave logged into something probably important in the presence of a 10-year-old.
Oh, you didn't hear?
Melmac thinks he found aliens.
Olga conveniently and weirdly leaving her office door wide open so these soldiers can conveniently and weirdly bring up aliens within earshot of Elio, who is currently obsessed with finding aliens, is weirdly convenient.
I've already rerouted every satellite to send the signal back.
The fact that this erratic and excitable individual has the authority to redirect every single NASA satellite available before presenting his proof to his superior.
It would be worth it for first contact!
Any alien close enough and capable enough to receive, understand, and reply to our message would most likely be so advanced that we wouldn't want to announce our presence to them. You know, just on the off chance these ones aren't allergic to water or being punched by Will Smith.
You should go home. Take a week.
Holy He's being suspended for presenting a theory about a radio signal? I mean, for moving the satellites without permission, I can understand, but what the f was he supposed to do with this signal? Not report it? Also, however, maybe if Melmac had spent more time gathering proof and less time designing this wicked graphic, he might still have a job.
Yes!
But why would sending a radio signal cause these radio telescopes to freak and short out the grid? Isn't sending and receiving signals their whole job?
Should I throw forks or would they think they're weapons?
Assuming the spacefaring aliens have yet to discover cutlery.
We have to try something different.
Boarding school? You're trying to get rid of me?
No.
To be fair, you're trying to get rid of you too. Her plan just has a more tangible next step compared to waiting to be abducted.
No, this is just their sleepaway camp.
Well, then maybe f***ing start with that, Olga, instead of just handing the traumatized kid who thinks no one wants him a brochure for a boarding school that says nothing about the goddamn sleepaway camp.
There's 500 million habitable planets out there, and one of them's gotta want me.
They do not.
Your life isn't up there, Elio. It's down here.
A bold and confusing sentiment coming from the person who had previously enrolled in an astronaut program.
This just isn't how I thought my life would be.
Of course, Olga is having this damning conversation within careless earshot of Elio, and Elio is listening in at the worst possible time. All so that we'll be okay when he's abducted by aliens and not question his lack of pants shitting.
And it touches to the deepest of human concerns. Are we alone?
Carl f***ing Sagan.
You know, I went here too when I was a kid.
Maybe something else Olga could have shared with Elio last night instead of just handing over the brochure with no explanation. Yeah, I'm going to be pissed about the brochure handoff for a while.
We got in so much trouble because of you.
And we're at this camp too because the movie needs you to have as much conflict as possible so the audience will be more accepting of you wanting to live with aliens. It's weird I said audience, I know. How did he fit the giant space helmet in his tiny suitcase? The movie continually refuses to answer what I have decided are the most important questions. Also, the bullshittiest instance of bullshitting in this movie is the idea that they get private tents at the sleepaway camp.
On, space boy!
But how did Caleb and Bryce even know about Elio's obsession with space? They just think he was trying to start a ham radio club. He never once mentioned he was trying to contact aliens. We'll learn that the Communiverse has all kinds of advanced technology, including translation discs that allow them to instantly communicate in any language. So why the barrage of random information and fancy light show instead of a f***ing phone call? Olga really has to stop signing up for all these fast food and coffee shop app services. You never know who's going to just sell your phone number and personal information to the next intergalactic species that asks for it. This technology is even freezing the water particles in the air, so I have to wonder how Elio is breathing oxygen that refuses to be inhaled into his lungs. So weird that Pixar wouldn't show a suffocating child in IMAX.
Yes!
Premature, I have no f***ing clue if these aliens are going to kill me abrasion.
I promise I'll put my weight on this, spaceship? Is this a spaceship? Anyway, where should we start?
I think we should start with the concept of consent.
Oh, thank you.
Accepting a glass of liquid this willingly from a stranger. Did anyone teach this kid stranger danger? No matter how much you crank up the wow factor on that score, it doesn't make this half-ass space thingy look any more interesting than that weird space jellyfish on Star Trek The Next Generation.
Welcome to the Communiverse.
I know Elio has been striving for abduction, but a kid letting their imagination go wild is very different from a kid actually coming face-to-face with alien abduction. He should be sh**ing animated bricks right now.
Elio Solis of, Earth?
A toast to our new candidate, Elio Solis of,
The discount universal translator can even translate Elio's self-created Elioese, but is unable to distinguish that the from Elio was a simple pause and not the name of the planet, meaning we get this very unfunny joke of everyone calling the planet Earth for the rest of the movie.
Hello, I am the Universal User's Manual. I contain the secrets of the universe.
Sounds suspiciously like a very useful guide to the galaxy if one were to be inclined to hitchhike.
We are delighted to finally make your acquaintance, leader of Earth.
Why do they assume he is the leader of Earth in the first place? Is it just because he's the one who communicated with them? Do these species not also have assistants and whatnot that they delegate work to, like sending messages?
Unfortunately, candidate Grygon, it is our assessment that you are not a fit.
I, Lord Grygon, Blood Emperor of Hylurg, not a fit.
It's bizarre that Disney and Pixar didn't feel the need to have an overarching villain for years in their films, and then for whatever reason decided to start shoehorning them into movies like Elio, Strange World, and Wish that didn't need them. Well, maybe Wish did, but Wish. Looks like someone went to the Star Wars New Republic School of Senate meetings when designing this huge open chamber that would make it impossible for half the members to hear and see anything.
Why did he make a new hole?
Being less concerned about your universe being conquered and more about the potential roof repair you'll have to shell out for later.
It would be a welcome change not to flee every bully who covets our treasures.
If all the Communiverse does is flee, why isn't there a trail of intergalactic bullies trying to catch up with them and steal their shit at all times?
While you negotiate with the warlord, you'll need a temporary replacement.
Why would they think that he needs a double back on Earth? If he's the leader of Earth, why wouldn't he just tell Earth that he was going on a mission and he'll be back soon? They're acting like they're in on Elio's secret, and they absolutely should not be.
World leaders such as yourself can't just disappear. Your planet would descend into chaos.
Are they in the habit of just kidnapping world leaders during the application process to the Communiverse? Why don't they just f***ing talk to people? Oh wow, Pixar's taken on the fascinating topic of cloning. I wonder how they'll dive into the problematic nature of creating a sentient being just to tell it what to do with no chance for free will or self-determination. They're not going to do any of that, are they? Just going to be a bunch of sight gags about how clones are weird, isn't it?
Have fun! Intriguing, Earth custom.
And yet nobody questions why the supreme leader of Earth is being subjected to a Stephen Kinging on a random beach. If they had any level of technology, they'd be able to tell that the leader of Earth isn't in California and likely not even in America.
I need everything you've got on how to negotiate with the warmonger.
Doesn't this give away the fact that Elio lied about having negotiating skills? And yet Mr. Blobby, or whatever the f that thing is called, doesn't report back to everyone else about this.
What is this, huh? A camp or a fight club?
Well, the first rule of Fight Club is to never talk about Fight Club, so clearly their hands are tied.
So, is Lord Grygon coming here?
Oh no, you will be going out there.
Either this floor is made of Elio-sized hatches, or Ambassador Helix got very lucky about where Elio would choose to stop. You can tell me that Elio is simply homaging the Hitchhiker's Guide all you like, but could you at least homage one of the iterations worth homaging?
Cabin pressure. Shield function. A breath mint.
Why would they assume that Elio knows how to pilot one of their ships? Why would they send him alone in the first place?
You have set our destination to your home planet.
Earth?
Confirm or cancel.
Oh, he was given no instructions so that he can accidentally Sophie's choice himself. Now it all makes sense. Except it really doesn't.
You are more puny than I expected.
And you are more discount Zerg than I expected, but here we are.
What do you need to leave the Communiverse alone?
Hylergians prefer to negotiate with screams in the air.
Saying that, and then shooting a critter who appears to lack the ability to scream.
Oopsie.
I feel like there's a chance we might be setting some unrealistic expectations for kids with gardening ambitions. You know the old saying. If you ever find yourself in an alien prison, just throw an alien skull and you're bound to randomly expose a wobbly grate that you can use to escape.
Bargaining chip? Like something valuable? Where am I gonna find?
You know the old saying. If you ever find yourself wishing for a bargaining chip to help you negotiate with an alien warlord, you're bound to just fall through a vent and immediately find one.
Are you gonna eat me?
What? Ew. I was just swaddling you because you seemed scared.
Weird that Elio would think he's about to be eaten when this is so clearly and obviously the precursor to a gentle swaddling.
I'm Glorden. No one's ever asked me my name before.
I swear when I was a kid, I remember every irritating adult wanting to know my name and why I was narrating their mistakes, but mainly the name thing.
To expose your soft worm flesh will dishonor you and your whole family for all eternity.
Dad?
Thanks, Gordon.
It's nothing. Up top.
The most unbelievable part of this movie is that Hylergians have the exact same high-five ritual as Earthlings. It is purely by the grace of this alien's gelatinous anatomy that Elio isn't immediately put on trial for vehicular manslaughter.
Well done. I knew you had it in you.
To kidnap and threaten the life of an innocent child? Weird flex, but sure. Slurping, chugging, chunking. Excitement? Burgers, pizza, and chips I can totally get. But what kid is wishing for a bucket of corn?
Schmearba skidda poop here. No, skiddo papa.
How does one teach a foreign language when one's words are being automatically translated by a word translating gadget?
Sometimes it feels like Dad doesn't even want me.
Skip!
Gordon, you're not getting in there.
Elio will now create a clone of Glorden and hide the real Glorden so he doesn't have to become a metal warrior. And this will blow up in Elio's face and cause everyone in the Communiverse to hate him and want him gone. So yet another movie with the therapeutic advice of it's better to get yourself ostracized from an entire community that you almost helped destroy than just have a son communicate honestly with his father. That's the Disney way.
Can I check on my clone?
Fortunately, his clone is doing something super meaningful with his Aunt Olga instead of, pooping or eating its own boogers.
Your dad will take your clone back to Hylerg, I'll become an ambassador, and neither of us will have to see Hylerg or stupid Earth again! that?
It's a flawed and disproportionately drastic plan, but I can see it making sense to a 10-year-old. What I can't see making sense is how he's perfectly operating the cloning machine, considering we haven't seen anyone show Elio how to use it. Also, why is everyone just allowed to use this cloning tech willy-nilly? And how is that not abused in service of some heinous pranks?
Seriously though, which one's real? Me!
Okay, maybe it's naive to expect Pixar to dig into the nuance of cloning, but goddamn, did you have to straight up tell the clone it isn't real?
Who knew yogurt is just as yummy as butter?
No one did, because that isn't f***ing remotely true. And I hate the movie to the tune of 100 more sins for suggesting that anything is as yummy an additive as butter. So when Olga kissed the Elio clone, she bit off one of his hairs? How? And why? But mostly how? How did a fucking changeling make the list of possibilities? Olga didn't believe Melmac's claims of receiving an alien signal, but she's entertaining the idea of a shape-shifting alien replacing her nephew? I mean, an AI robot and an Elio's skin suit didn't even make the board. And that will likely hit the market before Disney can announce a live-action remake. Here we have a list of activities that fake Elio has completed, most of which are chores designed to give Olga a reason to be suspicious. But if the Communiverse thinks Elio is the leader of Earth, why isn't he treating this house like he's supposed to be running the planet and bossing her around? A more realistic scenario that also has the benefit of making Olga suspicious. I'm not entirely sure what Olga was hoping to discover with this basic-ass microscope that definitely isn't sequencing DNA or doing any kind of genetic tests. Why the f*** would his eye be missing? We saw this clone had an eye when he was first birthed, so why did it get rid of the eye instead of covering it up like Elio?
Where is Solis? I'm sure he'll be here momentarily.
Can't you just contact him like you did when he was on Grygon's ship? Or do the translator discs have that Star Trek tension detector that stops them from working occasionally? It's uncanny how everyone just knows exactly what to do and how to operate new machinery when presented with it in this movie, and that no one bothers to give instructions on how to operate anything, even though there is a goddamn operating system that contains all the secrets of the universe. Holy shit, he just shot at his son on a hunch. There's gotta be a step or 15 between, I think he's a clone and let's vaporize him immediately.
You read his mind. Find the truth.
Since reading minds is this species' ability, why hasn't that already happened? I feel like that would have been the first thing they do when they bring up a new candidate to make sure they are who they say they are. Elio's back survives this. Also, is there any need for this portal to be so high in the sky? Strange how the portals appear to link to how pissed at Elio everyone is. Sure, Elio, you probably just caused an intergalactic war, but let's make this about you and your feelings. And Elio ends up back on the exact beach at the exact time that Olga and Elio's clone show up to try and find him, and he misreads the entire convenient situation because this movie is, well, this movie. This desperate plea is missing a comma.
This isn't the life you wanted.
The only thing I want is you.
That's not true. You also want to be an astronaut. You just want him more. Him being the only thing you want leads to codependency. What happens when he feels guilty about leaving you to be an astronaut when you don't die and leave him a kid to look after?
I don't feel so
Having your clone kill itself because you need to sneak onto a base to rescue an innocent alien you almost got killed. Wrapping your head around the moral and ethical quandaries presented in this movie about the preservation of life makes Tuvix look like a children's story.
Thank you for your service.
That does not make any of this okay.
What are you doing here?
If Elio doesn't have his translation disc anymore, how is he able to understand Glorden? And if they only need one translation disc between them, why did Glorden get one when they first met? I can't figure out what's more ridiculous. That Elio was able to find Bryce's exact channel to communicate on, or that he can communicate with Bryce, who has a basic ham radio from space. But I fucking hate both options.
I don't know anything about debris, but I know someone who does. He's a legend in my radio group.
Fortunately, Melmac has been hanging around with these kids long enough to be a legend in ham radioing things, but not long enough to have been apprehended by the cops.
You better come back in one piece, okay?
So Bryce can terrorize him some more? I know the movie wants me to buy that Bryce actually cares about Elio, but based on the 2 scenes they've been in together, I will never fucking buy that movie.
Let's get you through this debris field. I'm pulling up the network now.
Why would Melmac have access to this information from his garage? Never mind if he ends up saving the world. Olga should arrest him the second all of this is done. Also, why wouldn't the ship capable of whatever hyperdrive is be able to navigate around some space debris on its own? Why would it need a third party outside of the ship to help it? When we last saw Elio pilot this shuttle, he pushed these levers forward and the ship went crazy. But now they seem to be working exactly like you'd expect them to work in a video game, like he's suddenly become Han f***ing Elio.
Shields at 80%.
If the shields are still 80% strength and a piece of debris just cracked the screen, what exactly are the shields protecting?
This is Vikram from Mumbai.
This is Wang in Vietnam.
Konnichiwa from Japan.
Melmac can't help them anymore because they're out of range. So I don't understand how all these other countries are able to help. Okay, Europe is pretty far from the US, but why would Mumbai, Japan, and Europe all be able to communicate with Elio, given how spread across the globe they are? Damn it, man, the kid needs a space doctor, not a dramatic gesture and a swaddling. Oh, I guess that's exactly what he needed. Apparently he wasn't in any real danger after all.
But I lied to you.
And then you sacrificed yourself to save another.
As long as the most recent thing you did is a good thing, it'll erase all the bad shit you did, undeserving hero cliche. Ooh is a d***, and here's why. No one has even said goodbye to Olga, and yet Ooh is essentially opening the door and nudging her the f*** out. She helped save your asses too, Ooh. B, are you trying to kill her? We've seen them open a portal on Earth, so why are you putting her in orbit? And C, it's almost like you wanted to present a giant picture of Earth so that Elio could see exactly what and who he is leaving behind, and that is some crazy problematic emotional manipulation.
Earth is home. I didn't give it a chance.
I don't know, kid. I think you gave Earth plenty of chances considering it killed your parents and then tried to send you to a military school.
With you.
You sure?
We're family.
No, not because she's family, because she is a human being who's trying her best in a difficult situation and wants to do better. That and the fact that she's your legal guardian is the reason to give her a chance, not just because Olga and her sister were ejected from the same birth canal 30 years before you were born.
And it touches to the deepest of human concerns. Are we alone?
This epic Carl Sagan summation narration might just trick you into thinking you watched something profound. And maybe you did, but I'll mostly remember some kid lying about being the leader of the Earth, kidnapping another child, something Hitchhiker's Guide, and then raise my fictional kids on Star Trek instead.
Please, remove yourself from my personal space.
I'd like a finger sandwich, please, and hold the mold.
Since the dawn of time, humans have gazed at the stars and wondered.
Amelia Earhart.
This intrepid explorer is on a mission.
There's coffee in that nebula.
You suborbital, gaseous waste of mass.
Ugly, giant bag of mostly wonder.
Should I bring forks or would they think they're weapons? Not worth the risk. I'll bring spoons.
I'm gonna cut your heart out with a spoon!
Greetings, Earthling. We come in peace.
And you go in pieces, asshole.
Welcome back to 1 versus 100.
How's the eye?
The eye is giving me witchy, but not good witch.
Hi, I'm Chucky, and I'm your friend to the end. Heidi-ho.
Schmeegly, schmarpy, blop.
You learned Elioese?
Don't wait for the translation! Answer me now!
He's a legend in my radio group. The boss. The eyes in the sky.
Yes! I am invincible!
Okay.
Super. Take care now. Bye-bye then.